Yo, what is going on, my dudes? Welcome to another RuneScape news coverage video. Today, Jagex put out another dev blog regarding the comp cape rework, so without any further ado, let's jump right into it.
Jax is the illest. What you talking about, Willis?
Alright guys, this is the latest in information regarding the comp cape rework coming from a dev blog on their main website. I'll have a link to it down below if you want to read it in its entirety, but with that being said, let's jump into what has changed since my previous video. Today, Jagex is going to be responding to some of the feedback since the last blog went live, and going into further detail as to what we can expect for the rework. So first and foremost, we talked about previously that Reaper's gonna be removed from comp cape. Many people had concerns, what does that mean for the boss fight music tracks, seeing as some musics are only unlocked after certain portions of the fight, in some cases the very end. So it would seem that you would still require the kill, or at least nearly the entire kill, to get those music tracks. That's been addressed. So the way it will work is music tracks will unlock at the start of the boss fight. So all you really have to do is enter the boss area, don't have to kill it, you can leave, whatever the case may be, and they will keep that in mind for future bosses. So moving on, there will be some new comp cape requirements, both regular comp and trim comp, when this goes live. However, it's important to note that Jagex, for these specific requirements only, are going to be giving a 1-month grace period for any players to earn these extra achievements before they become permanent, and if you haven't achieved it by then, you will lose your cape. Now, those additional requirements are, for the comp cape, the been there done that achievement, which sees you buy all the upgrades from the player owned farm, at least the farm upgrades. The additions to the trim comp cape is the salty title, the sandy title, EIEIO, which is completing the breed log in player-owned farms, and work on your artisan, which requires you to purchase all of the upgrades in Artisan's Workshop. It will include the cosmetic overrides for Nectarian, Invictum, and Ethereum. Again, please note, any future additions will not have an associated grace period with them. So you may be asking yourself how comp will work with this rework going forward. So from now on, every significant content update will add at least one new comp requirement and at least one new trim requirement. The only reason that they won't add any requirements is one of three reasons. If the content update is so small that there isn't really anything to create a requirement, for example, like a patch week. If the nature of the update doesn't lend itself to requirements, for example, a limited time event like holiday events. Or if there's a strong enough reason why new requirements shouldn't be added. For example, the impact on the economy would be too large, or the game would be disrupted in some way, or it would create too high of a dependency on luck. The comp requirement will be something that requires you to participate in the content enough so that you understand the content. Essentially, a comp cape owner will represent somebody who has played everything. A comp player should, asked about any given update, be able to tell you about it. In contrast, the trim requirement will be something that requires you to have completed the content to whatever extent is possible. When you see someone trim, you know they have completed everything. The player knows the game inside and out. If there's something to do, they've done it. That requires the player to go above and beyond and exhaust the update. The one exception to trim are things which we consider so difficult or time consuming that they don't go beyond even on trim. These requirements either have such a high skill requirement that the vast majority of players couldn't ever possibly accomplish them, or involve such a long and mindless grind that we don't want to push players to complete them. Things like 4K Telos or requiring 200 mil in a skill are an example of this. They may still create achievements that are hard like this, or are this grindy, but those achievements will not be a part of trim. Moving on, we have the Profound Halo. This is going to be something that you will receive if you are somebody who is, for example, a current trim and you've completed the Castle Wars Profound achievements to compensate for that achievement. Since it won't be a requirement for trim going forward, this will be a way of showing off that you've done such achievements. I understand currently on Reddit, the community is kind of riled up because the Halo is nothing spectacular to look at. I'm sure that given enough uproar, Jagex will probably change it, so if you're somebody who has that requirement completed and you're not happy with the halo, do voice your opinion to Jagex. Let it be known so the appropriate changes can be made. I understand, even myself, it looks a little lackluster, so it is what it is. They finish off by saying that although they are approaching the release date of the comp rework, they're still eager to hear your thoughts on it, but they are no longer in a position to make any major changes, although you could still give minor feedback, such as the boss fight music tracks. That being said, I'll wrap up the video. Again, the link to this dev blog will be down in the description below. If you want to go ahead and check them out for yourself and read it off, head over there. And with that, I'm going to wrap up the video. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button. If you're not subscribed and you want to stay up to date on all things RuneScape related, then hit that subscribe button. Anyways, I appreciate you watching. I am out. Peace.